a little over 20 bucks, and just around 45 bucks. That's how much more it costs to get the letters SL printed on your pulley. Hey folks, we're back again with another video, and today we're going to be installing the top cap on a Fox grip damper, in this case the Grip SL. So this might seem like a simple job, but it can be a little bit tricky. In fact, the owner of the bike, when he dropped it off, I noticed that he did not have full lockout on his damper, and before I serviced the fork, I thought maybe it was the actual damper, but turned out the damper was working properly. It was that he did not connect this interface correctly. So there is a small gotcha that you have to avoid in order to make sure that you get full lockout on your grip damper. The other one is this particular top cap has a damaged spring. We will be changing out that spring too. We will go into it. I'm not going to break out a tools and parts section. It's a very simple job, barely any tools, only one tool needed. And we're just going to dive straight into it. All right, first let's change out this spring. So again, this SL remote, it had a damaged spring, right? It was actually more damaged than what it looks like now. You can see it's not round. It was actually pretty straightened out over here. I tried my best to round it out, but ultimately the spring needed to be changed. But Fox does not sell just the springs for these types of remotes. You have to literally buy the whole remote. One, I couldn't find an SL. Two, if I did find an SL, they were over 40 bucks to buy them, which is ridiculous in my opinion, right? Especially when you only need a spring. So I ended up finding a grip, and the grip was around 20 bucks. And the grip and the SL are the exact same springs. If you need a spring, they're interchangeable is where I'm coming from, right? So save your money. Personally, I would have bought just a spring for 10 bucks, and I'm sure it would have been a lot more margin than what it cost them to sell all this, right? So at the end of it all, I wish Fox would just sell the springs. We don't need the rest of the parts. In reality, they won't go bad for the most part unless you do damage to this plastic base over here, right? So let's swap the springs. And then what we are going to do is prep everything. I'm going to grab a little bit of grease. I'm going to put it on the new spring for starters, right? Just for protection. It's more for corrosion protection than anything. And then I'm going to take a little bit of grease and I'm going to put it on the inside of the base over here. And there's a reason for that. Not much, just a bit, right? Because the actual pulley has a, we don't want to get it on the outside. The pulley has a skirt seal, and we don't want to, we want less friction on the skirt seal more than anything, right? So the way this works, we are going to take the pulley. There's a hole on the inside, right? And we are going to take this part of the spring and put it in that hole. It should snap in. Don't be fooled by it, right? Sometimes it snaps right in, other times it doesn't, but you shouldn't be able to turn the pulley on the spring. So where are you? Why aren't you snapping in? There we go, it just snapped in, right? So now I can't turn it either way. Sometimes it'll be locked one way, but it'll turn the other way. That means you're not in, right? So now the big question is, how do we want to position it? Fox says position the dial at the, basically the 8 o'clock position of the dial, the actual grub screw at the 8 o'clock position. I'm not a big fan of that, because it doesn't give me enough room. It barely gives me enough room to turn this effectively in order to lock out the system. We're going to go over that in a bit. I like positioning it around that 3, 4 o'clock position, right? So use this little bump over here, or nipple, as a reference, right? So we're going to take this screw, line it up with this nipple. Oops, I just knocked it out trying to show you guys. So where am I again? Let me find that hole. There it is. Let's lock it in there. Is it in? Yes, it is. Grab the screw, find that 4 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock, put it in. Now the big one here is we need this side locked in between these ridges over here, right? So we want it in the valley just like that when we're all said and done. And this spring sits a lot better than the other one. The other one would actually sink inside. It would go below the base, which we don't want, right? So that's pretty much my setup right there for the most part, right? Yep, that's my setup right there. Now we're ready to go to the bike. Now here's where this job gets a little bit tricky. Here's the remote. This is what controls the lockout and the open mode, right? If we take this thing and screw it all the way counterclockwise, or clockwise, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong way, right? If I push down, I'm in full lockout right now, right? If I move this like literally 1/8 of a turn, just like that, that's not even a quarter turn, I'm in full open position, okay? So Fox says what we need to do is put this in full lockout mode, okay? And then position your cabling wherever you want it to come out using this arrow as a guide, right? So we're gonna start with this arrow pointing at the position we want the cable at, right? So let's say I want mine at 11 o'clock, which is around, give or take, over here somewhere, right? So then they say, what we're gonna do, well, great. Then they say, we're gonna take the screw, we're gonna put the whole unit in there, screw it down a couple of turns, right? 2, 4 turns, somewhere in there. We don't want much pressure on it. And then we take this whole mechanism and we're gonna turn around 270 degrees. So this cable is gonna end up over here, right? Or cable port, right? But when we do this, it turns both the base and the dial. Well, the base isn't tensioning the spring and the dial's opening up the port, right? A full 270 degrees. Now, that is a problem. Why is that a problem? Because I need to move this dial 3/4 of the way to hit that full lockout, because we just opened up the inside dial by about 3/4 of a turn, right? So now, and to top it off, the remote, the actual trigger remote, only shifts the cable about 1/4 inch, okay? So we don't get that much room. So we're at a point now where if I turn it, if I screw it down, let me screw it down all the way, okay? Don't screw it down all the way. You want it to move freely. If I turn this even halfway, I am never going to get full lockout. I don't know why, but it just doesn't work the way Fox describes it, or Fox instructions say you should install it. So I do it a different way. So again, before we install it, let me show you how little it takes to fully close it and fully open it, all right? So I'm in the fully locked position right now, okay? So if I grab the knob and I put the grub screw to the 6 o'clock, right? Somewhere around there, give or take. Actually, it's about 6:30. Let me see if I can show you guys better this way. Okay, so right now it's around the 5 o'clock position, for instance, right? So I'm fully locked. If I turn it, look at the letters. By that much, I am fully open. And that's the tricky part, making sure that we only get that much movement, because that's pretty much all the movement you're gonna get out of your trigger and your cable, right? And that's why I don't agree with that 276. So let me put in the fully locked again. So now I'm fully locked. I'm gonna take this out. Now I'm gonna take the remote. I'm gonna immediately put the cable housing holder where I want it, at that 11 o'clock position. And I'm gonna bring it down to the base, okay? Now, if you notice, I have my grub screwed around at 3, 4 o'clock position, somewhere in there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna turn it before I lock it down to about that 6 o'clock position. And then I'm gonna find its slot and lock it in place, grab my 2mm, screw it down a few turns. Okay, we don't have to screw it all the way down. So I'm still in the fully locked position, but now, if I go to that 3 o'clock, for instance, I'm fully open, and this is a push to lock. So when I push the remote, it's gonna push it pull it this way, and now I'm fully locked. And then it'll come back and I'm fully open. That's all it takes, basically, right? If you find that your remote's not rubbing or it's not moving as freely as it should, which you can do, because this barely needs any pressure, just unloosen it a bit, just a little bit, and basically it should work. There you go. That's all we need, basically, right? So now I'm ready to put in my cable. Now I'm not going to show the trigger part because those are all different. This is a Fox trigger, but there's many different triggers. I don't know what trigger you have. Just make sure your cable's correctly connected to the trigger. So then, and in this case, I got a worn out cable, and also he had cut it real short. So I'm barely going to have enough room over here. So basically I'm going to pass this through. It should come out the other side. Oops, now it's fraying. Great. Okay, there we go. Pull the, do I have enough room? Tell me I got enough. Ooh, just barely. So in my case, because I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to pass this cable through the back of this grub screw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that grub screw. And again, this is a push to lock, right? And then I'm going to wrap this around as tight as I can. In fact, because it's so short and I can barely grab it, and I want to make sure I have this in there correctly, nice and taut. And you got to make sure your trigger is already in a fully open position, right? Don't forget that. Then I'm going to take my screw. Oops. I'm going to take my screw. I'm going to put it in there. Just like that. Make sure it's set down. All right. Okay, so this is a push to lock. We should be fully open right now. And I could squish down. And if I put it to the lock, boom, I am locked in. Only the tires are squishing. Let it go, and I'm able to go down again. So this can be a tricky remote. Again, it's all about the slight little detail as far as positioning that compression needle to the proper place and positioning your knob to the proper place in order to get enough turn to open and close it. Again, the trigger, in this case, only moves the cable about a 1/4 inch max. So that is not much of a turn. If we follow Fox's method and open up the needle, the compression needle, by 3/4 of the dial over here, you're never going to be able to use this remote to close it, plain and simple. I mean, I've tried it multiple times. It's just not happening. Easier to just put the needle to the fully closed position, place the whole mechanism in with the cable entry where you want it, and then turn the pulley about 1/8 of a turn, lock it down, and then it should come back on its own and open up the needle, and then you have more than enough to lock it like you see over here. Again, only the tire is moving. So now we have lockout position. One recommendation also, this is very soft aluminum and the threads are super soft. Be very careful with your grub screw that holds the cable, because it is very easy to strip the threads in the knob, okay? So be very careful with that. So all that's left now is we could put a little end on this. To do that, I'm going to grab this little end. I found a nice little black one over here that should match nicely. Now this is frayed. This is a pain in the butt when it's frayed. Try and get all the frayed components in. I like that. It's really frayed. Sucks. I might have to cut off that frayed part. Yep. If it's too frayed and you can't fit it in, let me try it one more time. So basically, what we want to do is try and tuck them all in. Ooh, so close. Or else it'll fray even more. There we go. Oh, nope. Okay, so what we can do, although this is really going to suck, is I'm going to try and cut off just the frayed part, and hopefully it doesn't fray more when I do this. Okay, that helped a bit. I only got that one little piece, which should be easy to handle. We'll put in that piece first, and then we should be able to. There we go. Then I'm going to grab my little crimping tool, just like that, and done. We are crimped on. I am fully open, and now I'm locked out. Done. So what I will say is that this remote and this trigger are horrible, plain and simple. I wish Fox would completely revise this. It does not work well. I don't care what anybody says. The reason I'm making this video is, again, the owner of this bike, obviously he didn't set it up right for that exact same reason that I just described. The needle, the compression needle wasn't set correctly, and the trigger didn't have enough turn. It doesn't move the cable enough in order to turn the pulley enough to lock it out. It is a very small room that we have to turn this pulley with that trigger, basically, right? And that's pretty much it, folks. So hopefully this helps you out. All that's left now is, well, go out there and enjoy the bike. So, folks, if you like the video, click that like button. Click that subscribe button to see more videos. Click that bell button, what-ding, in order to get notified when new videos get released. More videos like this are coming. If you want to check out a couple of videos right now, those two over there might be of interest. And until the next time, I hope all's well with everyone. We will be talking to you all soon. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.